Aficionado, fashionista, foodie, sneakerhead, no matter what you're into, go all in. Because the greater the obsession, the greater the reward. Introducing the new Lexus IS, a result of Lexus's obsession, all in on the sports sedan. Learn more at lexus.com/IS.
One more item in the first hour. Our friends from Rock Auto, they rock. Got a chance to talk to the engineers behind all of this. And I wanted to know more about the company. And they said, look, we know about the part brands and the prices and the features that you want. RockAuto.com has the correct parts for both old and new cars. You can't just pour 10W30 oil into just about every engine. RockAuto.com has specific oil and transmission fluid, antifreeze, other chemicals your car must have. They have all the answers at one place. RockAuto.com.
You are listening to the Dan Patrick Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Hour 2 on this Friday. Dan and the Dan. That's Dan Patrick Show. Glad to have you on board. Stay a while if you can. We'll talk some football, basketball, and barbecue coming up. Yesterday, we had Nick Wright on from Fox Sports. First things first. And he kind of set the barbecue world on fire when he said the following on our program.
Come to Kansas City for the barbecue, JJ. Stay for the championships. That would be my recommendation.
Well, you have lived in Houston, so you are.
Yeah, I lived there for 4 years and ate what they. Listen, Houston folks, I understand it's been tough times. I empathize with you immensely. But Texas barbecue is fraudulent and it's not like bad compared to its reputation. It's bad compared to food. It's just not good.
That's Nick Wright yesterday. So not just Houston barbecue, Texas barbecue. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk to the barbecue editor of Texas Monthly.
What a gig.
Daniel Vaughn. Paulie tracked him down. He's going to join us to refute some of the things that Nick Wright had to say. All right, 877-3DP Show, email address, dp@danpatrick.com, Twitter handle @DP Show. Thank you for signing up for the newsletter, and that will come out every day at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, recaps everything that happened on the show. Got something special for you later today, the only place you can hear the interview with the actor who played Jimmy Chitwood in the movie Hoosiers. I had an opportunity to sit down with him, did a podcast with Maris Valanis, and we talked about a lot of things to do with that movie. A lot of fun, because he's not an actor, but they found him, and he fit the part. He was perfect for Jimmy Chitwood. And we'll have that for you coming up on the newsletter. The only way you can get it is go to danpatrick.com and enter your email address and sign up for the newsletter. Doesn't cost you anything. Tiger Woods has been transferred to another hospital, Cedars-Sinai, which is probably better equipped to handle celebrities, high-profile celebrities, their ability to be able to not be on display, paparazzi, that might come up. Not much other info there with Tiger Woods, but just that he was transferred. And at first I wondered, was there something that Cedars-Sinai is able to do, capable of doing, known for doing, that's better than where he was? And then I was told, yes, one of the things is their ability to be able to shield you from the press. But keep an eye on that. Anything else that comes up, certainly let you know. The Nets quietly won 8 in a row. Everything seems to be good with the Nets. And you probably would look at them as the favorite to win the title this year so far. Wasn't that long ago where we were curious about how it was going to work with the Nets. Seems like everything's good on and off the court. Steve Nash, their head coach, or one of their head coaches, said that, hey, they get along on and off the court. I don't know if that means that they didn't get along on and off the court prior to that 8-game winning streak, but it feels like the Nets, everything is kumbaya right now. Not the same with Russell Wilson. His agent dropped a bomb yesterday telling Adam Schefter that, hey, we want to stay in Seattle, but if we are traded, we have 4 teams. I was just told during the commercial break that Russ has had those 4 teams on his list for a while. It wasn't just something that came up over the last 48 hours, 72 hours, that this wasn't as reactionary as I think people are being led to believe. And that those who know Russ in this situation, that this has been, and that Seattle is aware of this list, from what I'm told. This is prior to yesterday when Shefty got that information from Russell Wilson's agent. I don't think Russ is traded this year, but if I'm Seattle, I certainly inquire about this because if I can trade him at 33, I don't want to wait till he's 34, 35, but I do think, and I've said this before, that I didn't think Russ would end his career there. But that now you start to feel like when he came on our show, said what he said, he was looking for an opportunity to be able to express his frustration. And where it goes from here, that's why when a source told me that this relationship was not sustainable in its current form, the Seahawks were disappointed in Russ for, going public. And I think Russ thought, well, we've kept it in-house and nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. But somebody had to leak some information to The Athletic. Is there an agenda with Russell Wilson? Well, this might be his way of doing what Aaron Rodgers is doing in Green Bay. Aaron was cryptic after, they lost to the Buccaneers. He was very cryptic after that title game. And we're like, what is he saying? He didn't even know about his future. I think Russell Wilson's kind of doing the same thing. Like, hey, I don't know what my future is here, but things got to change a little bit. I want to have input. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit older, and Aaron got no input whatsoever. He didn't even know they were taking Jordan Love in the first round. Nobody said, hey, Aaron, sit down. Got to tell you something. We're going to get Jordan Love if he's available. They didn't do any courtesy there. And that's why you go back to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was told you can have input, which to me was crazy for a quarterback that young. In fact, I don't want my quarterback to have any input on this. Unless it's a free agent and they've played with that player, then I would factor that in a little bit. But I got to separate, church and state here. You play, we'll do the picks. We'll do the signings. We'll do the free agents. We'll do the trades. This is what we do. Michael Jordan famously tried to get involved in helping the Bulls add players to their roster. And it would not have been good. Michael can play. Michael's not a GM. You're seeing that even with the team that he owns. He's spotty, hit and miss with players that he thinks could help his team. But go back, he wanted Walter Davis on the team. And Walter Davis was in the twilight of his career, had knee issues, wonderful player, but he was not going to help the Chicago Bulls. Michael wanted to be involved. And they traded Oakley, and Jordan was upset about that. But you can't let star players be involved in this. I don't think Michael had any problem after they drafted Scottie Pippen. Suddenly he was okay with that, with what Jerry Krause was doing. 877-3DP-SHOW, email address dp@danpatrick.com, Twitter handle @DP-SHOW. Say good morning to Peacock, our TV partner, and our great radio affiliates around the country, and, of course, the formidable Fox Sports Radio lineup. Last hour, McLovin didn't intentionally try to ruin my weekend. He knows I hate lists, and they normally come out when there's nothing else to talk about. And McLovin says that there's a list of the top 60 quarterbacks since the year 2000, college quarterbacks. And I just overheard this as I'm walking out to the kitchen to see what's, on the Traeger for Meat Friday. And I go, oh, no. So then I go, McLovin, tell me what it's about. And then he told me last hour, and he told me a couple of the players at the very bottom of the list that are friends with McLovin. Kevin Cobb and Andy Dalton made the list of the top 60 quarterbacks since the year 2000 in college.
Yeah, they're 60 and 59.
All right, let's do the top 5.
Well, actually, before we do that, can I hear all your guys' number one? Who hasn't seen it, who you think is number one, not who you would put as number one, but who you think ESPN put at number one.
Now, ESPN, the same people who said Michael Jordan was the greatest college basketball player of all time, right?
Right. This actually has one author, so I don't think it's one guy wrote this.
Yeah, I know. I did reach out to somebody. It bothered me that much. I reached out to somebody at ESPN. I said, can you tell me who voted on this college basketball poll? where you would have Michael Jordan as the greatest college basketball player of all time? I didn't get any answer.
This is a single author named Bill Connolly.
Okay. Yes, Paul.
I don't know for sure that this guy's number one, but I could see them picking him. Vince Young of Texas. He had a fantastic college career. Fantastic. You got to ignore what he did afterwards.
Oh, no, I know that.
I think he's top two.
It's easy to ignore what he did after that.
Yeah. I think he's top two.
So you're going to Vince Young. Well, you don't get that. It's number one, Paul.
Oh, well, the number one, you know who they're picking. There's not even, I would bet anything. I could tell you who ESPN picked.
Okay.
Whatever
Todd?
the bet is.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Tim Tebow.
All right. Seton O'Connor.
Is that Paul? You said Tim Tebow?
It has to be. It's ESPN.
I would think Tim Tebow.
All right. Yeah, he won national title, a couple of titles. Because I would say Manziel had the best season, in my opinion. I'll be just contrarian. I'll take Johnny Manziel. McLevin, the number one quarterback since the year 2000, according to ESPN, is...
Number 4 is Tim Tebow.
Wow.
Wow, that means there's 3 ahead of him.
There's 3 ahead of him. This is one writer, not all of ESPN, so he's gone rogue.
He's going to be fired. Fired.
Number 3 is Vince Young.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, another great single season.
Joe Burrow.
No, he's 5, actually.
Oh.
But this guy had one season where he did everything. 2000s on.
Okay.
I'll give you another hint. He also had MVP level success at the NFL as well for one season.
For one season.
That hint might be confusing, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not Johnny Manziel.
You had the right conference. Cam, number 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was only there for 1 year.
Yeah.
The writer did say it was hard to balance 4-year success versus 1-year success.
And the number one college quarterback since the year 2000.
You're never going to get it. I mean, it is shocking. It's Michael Jordan shocking. Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma.
Where is Johnny Manziel?
He's high on the list. Hold on. He's not top 5. So 5 is Burrow, 6 is Deshaun Watson, 7 Kyler Murray. That's surprising me. 8 Lamar Jackson, 9 Marcus Mariota, 10 RG3, 11 Trevor Lawrence, 12 Colt McCoy. Then we get to Johnny at 13.
Oh my God!
Like, I love that. I don't even think Michael Vick is on the list. I mean, he had a pretty good at least 1 year.
No stats though, right, for Michael, or running stats?
Did Vic qualify?
Oh yeah, what year did he?
He wrapped it up in 01.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, still you're right.
I would put Vic in there too.
How is Colt McCoy ahead of Johnny?
I have no idea. Yes, Paul.
I've done this many times before. Johnny Manziel in 2012 led the SEC in rushing touchdowns with 21. The SEC. He led the SEC in rushing with 1,400 yards. He would have been the best running back and been possibly an All-American running back candidate at the quarterback position. He also threw for 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns and took down number 1 Alabama. That was his freshman year of college. That's the best college year by a quarterback there is.
Unless it's Joe Burrow, but Johnny, to me, had the best single season a college quarterback has ever had. He rushed for 1,400 yards.
Burrow's got a good case, though. He threw 60 touchdowns.
Okay, but he didn't rush for 14. He didn't lead the SEC in rushing or rushing touchdowns.
The other counter I'll give you is Cam won the title.
Cam?
Oh, no, sorry. Did he win or lose with Auburn? He won.
Beat Oregon.
Yes.
I have no problem with Cam Newton being in there. But, like, Colt McCoy? Yeah,
Cam Newton's numbers are really close to Manziel. His year at Auburn, he threw for 2,830 touchdowns. He ran for 1,473 and 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's right there with Manziel.
And Lamar Jackson's running stats are great, too.
Yes.
Heisman.
Yeah.
I was trying Kyler Murray at 7. He had a great year.
Gosh. All right. I mean, I'm not going to let this ruin my weekend, but Baker Mayfield is not the number one quarterback in my opinion.